Hi guys, Chris here and you're watching Here We Are Running. Welcome back for another training vlog as I continue my training for the North Downs Way 50, my first 50 miler, hopefully happening towards the end of May. And right up front in today's video, I want to ask you all a question. So comment below with your answer, or I might also put a post up so that you can vote for your answer as well if you don't want to comment. But yeah, if you can, comment below and I'll look at it afterwards, because I want to ask you the question, as a runner, do you work in miles or kilometers? And I know if you're American, you're probably likely to say miles, and if you're not, well, anywhere else in the world pretty much, you're likely to say kilometers. But in the UK, there's a real mix, and I know the majority of my audience are from the UK, so I would like to know what percentage of you operate in miles and what percentage operate in kilometers. So do drop a comment below or on the post that I put out separately and let me know. So you joined me today on my long run. It's Saturday morning, I'm out reasonably early, and today, this week, the long run is on the pavements. After that kind of mistake from last week, even though it's warmed up so much during the week. In fact, I'm wearing shorts, I am wearing long sleeve top, but I'm probably gonna get too warm by the end of this. And whilst I'm doing the long run on the pavements, I'm still going through some nice countryside, so there'll be some nice footage during the video. And as always, I'll tell you about all of the training that I've done during this week. Okay, we're over halfway in this run now, about 17 kilometers done, and I was starting to feel the energy levels drop a little bit, so I've taken a gel. Every 5 kilometers or so I'm taking a few sips of electrolyte, so let's hope that we don't start fading or anything like that, particularly as I'm the furthest away from home at the moment. But we'll soon be looping around and making our way back. Reached the turnabout point, a place I've not been to before. I've been using the navigation feature on my watch for the first time just to not get lost on this little bit that's got me here. It's called Riverside Park, I believe. Quite nice on a nice sunny day like today. So as I say, turning around now, use the navigation to get through all the little streets that I'm going to face in a moment, and then I'll be back on the route I know. Okay, we're 30k in to this 32k or 20 mile run, so we are approaching home, and it's been a bit of a slog the second half. That's why I haven't really been filming during the second half. Bit of a slog, feeling it on the legs, feeling it in the energy levels, but we're still getting it done, and it's good to get one of these in the bank as part of this training block. One thing I've noticed is that my heart rate has certainly crept into zone 3, and no matter how slow I'm going at the moment, it's not really going to make a huge amount of difference, which just shows there really that I am feeling it. My body at the moment isn't really used to running this long and probably isn't quite prepared for it, but it's all good stuff. Okay, in a few moments time it will be Sunday and I'll get a rundown of all of this week's training. Right, well, Sunday afternoon, so complete the entire week of training, happy about the way it's all gone, and time to give you a bit of a rundown of it. As always, Monday was a rest day. So on Tuesday, what I have been doing is trying to get in a longer run, for a weekday that is, in the evening, on Tuesday evenings, but running it very easy pace. Now, I've been doing the Tour de Zwift, which has had some longer distance runs in it. This week was the kind of last week of those runs, and the run that I was on at the time I needed to do it wasn't really long enough. It was only 10k, and I like to get in more than that distance on a Tuesday. I started that 10k run, and I thought if I run that quickly, then I can get onto this 5k that follows on from it. I would have had to run it really quickly in order to do that. In fact, I only ran 8k of it, and I was running at about a 4.5 minute pace average across those 8k, which was pretty tough going for a Tuesday, I've got to admit. I went onto the 5k run afterwards, which was at a much easier pace, and in fact I tagged an extra kilometre on there as well to sort of make up that distance. So Tuesday turned out to be the sort of distance that I had been running, but I just did it in a very different way this week, and probably not a sensible thing to do really. I think that probably tired my legs throughout the rest of the week by just doing that really fast 8k right at the start of the week. Anyway, that was Tuesday. Wednesday has always been my double run day, and the reason for that is that there's an event that I like to do on Zwift at breakfast time here in the UK on a Wednesday morning. It's got some climbing in it, so I can go on the treadmill, but I can also get some elevation in to that run, and I'm getting more and more used to that run as the weeks progress. And in one of these episodes I'll do a comparison, because it's always the same run on a Wednesday, but how I tackle it is sometimes a little bit different, and I think, you know, there's evidence of my fitness and my stamina and my ability at doing a bit of elevation improving gradually as we go through these weeks. So I will do a proper comparison a little bit later in the training block on that. So we did that on Wednesday morning, and then we did another run again on Wednesday afternoon, which was good. So doing well overall distance up to Wednesday. Thursday followed on from a very similar approach to last week, where I did 8k distance-wise. However, I went out on the trails because I knew I wasn't going to go out on the trails at the weekend. So I thought I'd at least get a bit of trails in this week. Went out on the trails and did 8k. It turned out to be a couple of loops of Gatton Park, which is close to me, trails that are close to me, and has a big climb in it up to the top of Reigate Hill. So did that big climb once, a slow kind of loop around, coming back down in elevation, and then that big climb up again and loop back round. So did that on Thursday lunchtime. And then Friday, what did I do Friday? Well, it's up on the screen. I can't quite remember now. It was on the road. It was on the pavements, I think. And yeah, a sort of Friday lunchtime run. Right, you've just seen Saturday, but you can now see the stats up on the screen for what happened in that long run. And one thing I've learned big time from doing that long run is that I was not fueled properly beforehand. I think I was fine what I went out with in terms of hydration and fueling during it, but beforehand I hadn't really given it any thought. I didn't, you know, the days of marathon training where I used to eat pasta the night before and all that sort of thing, I did none of it, and I think I suffered a little bit for my energy levels during that 20 miler were not what I would have liked, and it felt more of a struggle than it should have done. So that's a lesson learned. I've got to be a bit more careful, and I've got to give a lot of thought to nutrition and fueling for the ultra marathon. It's an area that I've fallen foul of before on runs of longer distance. So I am going to give that some further thought. I am going to try out some different strategies of that in the coming weeks. Other than that, it was good to get the 20 miler in, and I've I felt it afterwards. I felt it on Saturday evening, but I woke up pretty fresh. Legs were pretty fresh this morning. And for Sunday, I didn't want to put too much more distance into my legs, but I have been doing, you'll have seen before, I have been doing another sort of climbing type event on Zwift. This time round it was the Alpe d'Huez, and it was a pack run, and we basically do the first 5k running at a pace of 6 minutes per kilometre. I put my treadmill on 1% incline for that. And then for the final 3k, that is the climb basically up the mountain. So put the treadmill on 9% and went at a pace of, I think it was around 7.5 minutes per kilometre, something like that. You really feel it at 9%, and for the final kilometre I upped it again to 10%. So got plenty of elevation in on that run as well. And just the right sort of thing that I needed really for a Sunday to round off the week. So there you go, guys, that is my training for this week. It's actually the 7th week now for the ultramarathon training. I've got to say I'm enjoying it. I hope you're enjoying the watching this and following through the training. We had a lot of views on last week's video, so thanks everyone who tuned in, watched that, and hope you're all following through now the journey, and we'll be watching the future episodes as well. Guys, as always, if you did enjoy the video, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you're new around here, well, why not consider subscribing, because we have regular running content on the channel. For now, guys, goodbye.